Spoilers and Fandom is like a book club for geeky stuff. Join us as we delve into the depths of our backlogs and sift through the games, comics, shows, movies, and books that we haven't checked out yet. Hey everyone, welcome to Spoilers and Fandom. I'm Hellsknight.
I'm Hilary.
And today we have our long-awaited first episode where we're going to talk about the Bonehunters, which is the sixth book of the Malazan Book of the Fallen series.
Yes.
And this episode is going to be spoiler-free. Currently it's just me and Hill. We're trying to get Dean in as well. It has been very hard to get everyone's schedule together.
Yeah.
Hopefully Dean can make it for the spoiler episode. We'll know in a couple of hours, I guess.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're just gonna have to do it. So sorry about that. But we're taking quite long to record this, and I'm eager to get on to the next book. Actually.
Yeah. What happens in the Bonehunters?
Okay. So this book carries forward from book 5, Midnight Tides, and also book 4, House of Chains.
Yeah.
So the story kind of progresses, I guess, a bit more linearly from there. I guess it's been a little bit of time since Midnight Tides.
A bit, yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But not very much, because it ends basically where Troll is, and it continues. It's hard to talk about spoilers in this book.
Yeah, and again, it's a book
but we'll try. Yeah. We'll try.
Yeah.
So it basically, it goes on from the events of House of Chains and Midnight Tides. And it again is sort of squad based, I'd say. But you have in this book, what's different is you have like a lot of people doing their own thing and then picking up companions as well.
Yeah.
So Absalar, for example, she picks up 2 new characters called Curdle and Telrast. I won't go into detail about what they are, who they are,
and what they do.
Yeah, but she picks up those 2 companions and she goes on a quest. Fiddler has like his own squad and stuff, and he reunites with some of the bridge burners. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And they have their squad following the Imperial Army, off chasing Leoman. I can say that. You could say Leoman has his own squad as well, of Korab and his followers.
The army.
Yeah.
The army of Sheikh.
Yeah.
The Apocalypse Army.
Yeah.
The Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they got their crew, and you have Cutter, Ghost Hands.
Heboric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use their new names though. So Cutter, Heboric, the frog guy. I forgot his name.
Grey something. Is it Grey Frog?
Grey?
I thought it was Grey Frog, yeah.
Grey Frog, right. Yeah, Grey Frog, yeah. And Solara and Felician Younger.
Yes.
Yeah. So they got their crew doing a quest, and I think those are the only crews really. So it's not that.
There's the
Ikariam and Mappo.
Ikariam and Mappo, and
Karsa
and crew.
Karsa and his new companion Samar Dev.
Yeah.
Doing their thing. So those are the squads. Have I missed anyone? I mean, Iskaral Pust is also doing his own thing. So that's what I mean by...
He normally rolls around on his own.
Yeah.
He weaves in and out on his own.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like... I think with this book more than any, there's like a lot of like merging of characters and like,
yes,
like separation as well.
Yeah, because even with guys like, with Mappo and Ikari, they've been together.
Yeah,
as far as this book, they've been together.
They've bumped into everyone, haven't they?
And they have bumped into everyone. They fought Casa. Have they met the bridge burners? No.
They have seen them.
Yeah, they saw them.
They've seen them. They've bumped into the Daru crew as well. Crocus, Cutter, yeah. So they've definitely crossed paths with, I think, the most people. Mappo and Ikariam. They've even been to like 7 cities and walked away, like where the stuff happened in Deadhouse Gates, and they've walked away from that as well. So they've probably interacted with the most people. However, yeah, so as I mentioned as well, this book introduces a lot of new characters. You have, I guess it starts off with a character called Sergeant Hillian, who's an Imperial guard posted at Kartul. She's a really unique character. She's sort of like a drunken fist kind of character. She's always drunk.
Always fisting.
And oh gosh. Well, and yeah, she's always drunk, afraid of spiders. Very cool character, I would say. You have Barthol Mecha, who is related to Kalam Mecha. You have Spite, who we have heard of, and we meet her in this book. You have Teller Aston Curdle, as I've mentioned. You have a character called Edgewalker, Samar Dev. And those are basically the new characters. I won't go into too much detail about what they are, because I think those are a bit spoilery. And some of them we don't know a lot of details about yet, because they've just been introduced. Those are basically new main characters. The general plot of this book is a little hard to talk about, but it's on the back of the book, so we can just talk about that, really. It's basically the army led by Adjunct Tavora is chasing down Leoman of Flails.
To crush the rebellion.
Put an end to it once and for all. That is, I guess, the general plot of this book. However, again, Karsa and these other characters, they have their own thing. Karsa's still trying to figure out, I guess, what he wants to do.
He wants to get...
He gets a direction.
He wants to be witnessed, and now he has someone to witness it.
He gets a direction, and he starts off on that quest, but that plot doesn't really end. It's sort of like he just gets a direction in this book. There is a bit of like stuff with him, but not like his story is introduced and is ongoing. You could say that.
And the Daru crew?
The Daru crew, again, they were given a direction at the end of, I guess, House of Chains.
They were given missions.
And they've gone in that direction. And that direction meets somewhat of a conclusion, I guess. Like, that plot does end in a way, but not the way that you'd think. And I would say that plot concludes, especially at the end, where they're trying to figure out what to do now. So, so that plot concludes as well. Ikariam and Mappo, they get a lot of answers. I would say Mappo in this book gets a lot of, but I'd still say that we're in the middle of his overall plot. That started all the way in book 2. I would say we're midway through Ikariam and Mappo's plot at the moment.
It does, it feels that way.
Because we get answers for a lot of stuff. We got the answers a while back, I think, but Mappo gets the answers directly and is kind of shocked with what he finds out.
And even then, we also see the exact scope of why Ikariam's power, why Ikariam is so important. Or at least a bit of it. It's teased out to us a bit more now. It's hard to talk about the other plots without getting into spoilers. But you could say that Apsalar has a sort of hit list, and she's trying to make her way through that hit list. That's as far as I can mention. Without talking about spoilers. And even for her, if you remember, and she's comparing a lot of... I feel like she's using the power that she got from Cotillion. She's now using it a bit better than, let's say, previously. She's a bit more mature with how she uses.
Or maybe she was always that way and we just never saw it, really. You could argue, this is spoilery for the first book.
Yes, it's spoilery for the first book, but you wouldn't be here if you haven't.
What if you are?
If you are, you're brave.
You're very brave to listen to the 6th book,
So for me, I found it interesting to see
how powerful Apsalar
is. And the growth she's had. Ever since, like, from day one. Apsalar, I feel, she's been the character we followed. Let's say the closest second maybe to, what's his name? Paran.
I would say Paran,
After Paran, maybe it's Apsalar.
You do have Paran as well, with his own squad, doing his own thing as well with his own missions.
I feel like he's developing his squad now. We discussed this before we started recording the episode. This is actually why we started recording the episode. But yeah, I feel like he is. I don't want to, we'll talk about it in the spoiler section. I feel like he is developing his crew.
Yeah.
And it's not I don't think it'll be the crew that we're thinking of. It wouldn't be immediately obvious.
Yeah,
the people
maybe.
the people who will have his back will be the people who have his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There's also I don't have it in my notes here, but we were also introduced to a Jaghut lady named Ganeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's a new character, quite a likable character. But yeah, that's it for the plots, I guess.
Yeah, for plots more or less.
Yeah.
It's three major groupings of things.
Yeah. There is also like how did you find the feel and pacing of this book?
The feel and I liked the pacing of the book a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I remember at the beginning I was complaining to you that things are taking too long to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I got it when things started happening because now you're given a chance now to adjust, to catch up and to breathe as things are happening. I feel like the beginning of the first half of the book up until Igatan is uphill.
Okay.
Then once you reach Igatan, everything is downhill from there. Because you'll get caught up into the whole rhythm and the pace of the story. And a lot of things do happen as a result, directly leading into and as a result of Igatan. And the story now really does move once Leoman is set up and once Tavori comes to meet him. Once those two characters clash, that's where the story kicks in full gear for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember, we were discussing this also. I said earlier, like in Memories of Ice,
right?
Kapostan was the most was like the most real part of the book for me.
Yeah.
Because when I was reading
this is a bit spoilery though.
Yeah, I was visualizing it.
Yeah.
But then now
the setting at Igatan.
Yeah, the setting of this book got to me a bit more. So it's very deep, very rich, fantastic descriptions, and I feel like it's the kind of book that once you get into it, it's those page turners. You'll never stop until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the combat, even the fights that you go through, the fights for me shone through in this book, especially the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the pacing, I felt like the pacing was a lot better compared to maybe an earlier book.
We struggled with Midnight Tides a lot.
We struggled with Midnight Tides.
Yeah.
But Midnight Tides was also a bit... It's because... Okay, the reason why we struggled with Midnight Tides is because of the change of...
No, it was also the I don't know, it was really written like... You had chapters where nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, this was my complaint about Midnight Tides.
Yeah.
But like...
And everything was a dream in Midnight Tides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either Udinas's dream or,
So and so's, You don't really feel like there was anything really driving the story forward.
Right.
Here, there's pressure. There's things moving all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether you know it or not, that's where another thrill of the story comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found, I also, I agree after that part happens when those two clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story becomes like you can't stop.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop reading at that. Like, you will have to force yourself to stop. Like, it's so addictive after that because of the change in, I wouldn't say pacing. I would say more like just
the story
stuff that starts happening is just madness.
Yeah.
It's just madness after that. Like, after that goes down. All across the board with all the squads. It's just insane.
Yeah. Everybody essentially has a very interesting story. And you feel... I feel like any one of these guys, any one of the groups, the story would have been a perfectly good book on its own.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it's just that now since all of these now are together in this, we get now the benefit of now having the buffet of 5-6 stories running concurrently, and we're like, oh wow, we have to juggle information from here and there, and put it all
some
together.
of them intertwined as well, which is quite good. I do like when that happens.
Yes.
For me, though, the pacing before that, I found it really good compared to the other ones.
Tides.
Yeah.
Specifically Midnight Tides or even...
No, all the other books.
Even Memories of Ice?
This is my favorite book.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, this was my favorite book. Even House of Chains. just because like these characters we know these characters now.
Yeah.
And we want to see what happens with them. I'm so invested in all these guys. So like them interacting with like the new characters, for example, you know, Absolar with like Kuradal, you know, like
Samadev
and Karsa.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to see where all these things go. I found it just very entertaining. So for me, I was like, I wouldn't say like, it wasn't like heart-pounding pacing like it was with, I guess, the starting of House of Chains.
Yeah.
But I would say it was like quite a steady, like it was not hard for me at all.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you're right. After those two clash, it is so tough to stop.
To tear away. Yeah. It's very, very hard to.
Yeah, if you're listening to the audiobook, I'd say the last. Okay, again, I listened to this book twice, and the second time I listened to it at twice the speed. So I would say the last 10 hours at twice the speed are the easiest to get through. Like you'll just be like, clocking in hours. You'll be like, really? I clocked a whole hour? Really? Yeah.
Because I also used the audiobook, but I listened to it as I'm driving.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is a question I have. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with this. My question was, how did you like the audiobook narrator now, considering that he's doing a couple of things differently from
Lister? Yeah, he started from 4.
Yeah.
He started from House of Chains.
Yeah. But what's it called? With certain characters. And earlier in the story, earlier books had Lister using different sort of
voices,
accents and voices.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I talked about this. For me personally,
like how did you like Samadev and the change of Casa? Okay. For me, I liked the new car. The
new Karsa is definitely more likable.
Yeah, I liked the new Karsa, but there are some things about like
the Malazans
and Samadev and another character who I don't want to name, but he's there.
So Samadev, the accent that Michael Page uses for her is like very Indian.
Yeah.
I was okay with that because she's new. We have nothing to compare her to, I guess. So I was okay with that. What's weird is like he makes a lot of the Imperial sound Indian as well.
Yeah.
Or like Asian-ish or South Indian-ish.
There's a shade
of like Indian or Arabic with the accents he does for them, which is a huge contrast from Lister who did the Imperials as like European.
Yeah, street Europeans. But maybe it helps. Okay, maybe it's because it's different parts of 7 cities, different tribes.
I would say that even with Cotillion, for example, his voice is so much different from the way Lister did Cotillion. I thought. I can't really say what I thought, but like there's a huge contrast between the way Lister did Cotillion and Shadowthrone and the way Michael Page does Cotillion and Shadowthrone, and I feel like Michael Page's is more accurate. Because like I can't talk about it without spoiling Midnight Tides for you, so I'd rather not say. But like there's a lot of Cotillion and Shadowthrone in this book as well. A lot of them. Like so much. And they do so much, and you see so much about them, and you feel for them. And actually, this book, if anything, has sold me on reading the prequel novels that Esselmont wrote about Kellen Ved and Dancer.
Oh,
yeah. This book has sold me on that. Like, I do want to read those. And yeah, we get a lot of stuff. What did you think? Did you like those?
The characters.
The change in voice.
I found it a bit strange. I found it a bit strange because, again, maybe it's also a function of how I was listening to the audiobooks, because I drive a lot, so I listen to it as I'm driving. So maybe I'm not fully 100% focused, but I felt like sometimes I could lose track of who's talking or who's being referenced. I felt like...
You're right, actually.
Yeah. I felt like guys were a bit more distinct with Lister. Now
you are right, actually. Yeah. Yeah. There was a moment in this book where like there was like a lot of banter back and forth between two characters,
and then you can't.
And I was like, who said what actually? Because their accents were too similar. Yeah. I think like, for example, whenever Iskarol is on scene, he talks a lot.
And his speech is also very specific.
Yeah. And then like you throw in more people into that, it gets muddled. Like who's actually speaking? Yeah, you're right.
Because like there's I guess I have to say it. Like Tara Lakvid, I found it very hard to pin down whenever he was the one.
He is so scummy though. I found him very unique actually.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have a problem with his voice.
Like weirdly, I found it difficult to pin him down because I was so used to the other voices. Let me say that.
But we've never met Veed before though.
We've never met him, but his voice sounded way too familiar. I don't know why. I really don't know why.
Yeah, he's he has a unique voice. He's kind of like he's a bit I don't agree. I found him a bit unique because like I could always tell when it was him because of what he does with
because of how he's because of what he does, how he's saying it.
And like I do think he does a good job with so I don't agree with that. Right. But Ikariam, I maybe got mixed up as well. Yeah. With like some of the characters,
and even now, then
the Lethari, the Lethari Feather Witch.
Yes.
It is hard to tell who's talking. Yeah, he uses the Indian accent, I think, also a bit too much.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping that if at all he was going to use that accent, save it for.
There are a lot of characters though.
Yeah, there are a lot of characters. So I can't really also blame him so much.
Yeah. Because like there's like a lot of conversations with this merchant A and merchant B, or Tister Idur A, Tister Idur B. Like the difference between Tomad Sengar and what was this guy's name? Alrada An.
Yeah.
There are way too many characters who have conversations that are not main characters. Yeah. You're right. You're right about getting lost.
And is there anything that you specifically liked in this?
We can't talk about that now, right?
Wait, for real?
Specific things I liked.
Okay, no, not specifics, but let's go general.
General. Yeah. I'll go general.
Specifics a bit later.
My favorite parts are I guess the scenes. Some of the scenes in this book are just so memorable. The humorous ones, I would say, are the most memorable scenes for me. There's like conversations that Iskarol has with other characters. I won't say who. There's even a point where Cotillion sort of like has been pranked, and there was like a very subtle interaction between him and the hounds, which just made me laugh. And like just the writing in this book for like Perrin, and it's like there's like a lot of funny moments that are kind of subtle but quite haha for me. I like those scenes. And I think like Telerast and Curdle are really enjoyable for Apsala's companions. They're so good, but they're so similar to Iskarol as well.
Yeah. But
to the point, like if you don't like Iskarol,
you might not
there might be a chance you'll find this book annoying.
Yeah. However, I feel like I want to say this too about like the way the writing has developed over the last 5 books to this one. There's definitely an improvement over the last 5 books up to here. The writing is much better.
So I don't know. For me, Midnight Tides was like the lowest point.
But Midnight Tides, I feel like had to be like that because of the content.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Not much was happening, but
in an interview, like Erikson actually mentions that Midnight Tides was the easiest book he had to write. I have a feeling he didn't he didn't put too much effort into making it more entertaining. Here, it's not the case.
Yeah, here it's very, very.
It's very entertaining. Yeah.
From the get go, this is a special book.
Yeah.
For me, I still say for me, Memories of Ice is number one.
Your favorite.
Yeah. For me, Memories of Ice, but this is a very close second.
Yeah, I think for me, House of Chains was my favorite, but this has surpassed it. Okay. I'll put it this way: like I tried rereading House of Chains back when we had finished it, and I got maybe a quarter way through.
This you finished.
This I just couldn't stop. Yeah, the second time around as well, I couldn't stop. Okay. Yeah, and also again, even though it's like the 6th book, we're still getting more world building as well, which is amazing. Like I don't know how you do that.
Which is why I'm saying, like, I feel like, okay, the book 1 was an info dump where you kind of have to
just go with it.
Yeah, you go with it, get on the bus. Hopefully you'll get on hopefully you'll get along with this. You'll get on board. Mm-hmm. In this one, he's developed the story very well, and even though you're getting the story on multiple fronts, it's very easy to follow. Yeah, and he still develops the characters strongly. The only thing I was saying was, again, the first half of the book felt a little slow. But once things now do pick up, I feel like I got the sense of why it was slow, because you need that time to to appreciate what's happening, and for guys to get where they need to be, and everything else fitting in as it should for the story to work. Yeah, it needed to be a bit slow there, but once he gets into the groove of things, perfect. You'll never stop. You won't want to stop. Let me say that.
Yeah. How did you find the ending of this book without like going into details?
I liked it. To put it shortly, I liked the end.
I have mixed feelings. I do like that we got a lot of questions answered. We know who we hate. Like, the people we hate, we have very good reasons at the end of this book for hating them. Whereas we might not have been sure about whether we hate them or not before. I feel like that's a good payoff. There is a very... Okay, how do I put this? The last 2 hours of this book, or the last 2 chapters of this book, are probably the most action-packed in the entire series.
So far.
They can be a movie. Just those last 2 chapters can be a movie in itself.
That's why I was saying I love the ending.
Yeah.
Because it amps up. Everything just grows.
Yes. Yeah. However, I'm still upset. I can't say why, but I'm upset for a reason. That's all I'll say. And I'll talk about that in the spoiler section. It's to do with something very specific that happens that I'm upset with. But I did like that. I would say that the highlight of this entire book is the last 2 chapters and that whole
culmination
movie that happened.
Yeah. Because it's very cinematic, and everything that happens is actually like quite really, really hype. You'll be, it's a good book. It's a really good book. Yeah. Like if you like John Wick, you like. Imagine John, it's a medieval John Wick.
It's like a fantasy John Wick movie at the end. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So, yeah. But again, mixed feelings. I can't say why. But, like, overall, even with the other plots that happened, I do really like it. I really need to see what happens with Karsa's plot. I'm so hyped for that. Like, it is just so insane how much I'm looking forward to what's next for Karsa. That's what I'll say for that. I'd say with Absalar's plot was concluded. I don't know what's going to happen with that character next. We'll have to see. Yeah. To the conclusions that happened, I was happy. I guess. Yeah, even with the army under Tavora, I'm happy with the way that concluded. I'm gonna censor that. I'm gonna censor that.
Sorry.
But I'm happy with that, and also with the new factions that we've been introduced to, the New World armies, the newer armies and stuff. There's like a lot of world building as well that's happened. So you get to see a lot of new stuff. So I'm excited for that stuff. And I think that's all I really have to say about this book without going into specifics. And I really want to go into specifics. I'm sure you do as well.
Yes.
Do you want to add anything?
No, for now, considering I have to be, we'll go into specifics. We'll go into the spoiler section.
Okay, how would you rate this book?
I liked it more than Midnight Tides.
Well.
So at least a 7. I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
An 8 for you?
I'll give it an 8 for me. For you?
This was a 9 for me.
9?
Yeah, this was my favorite one. I love this book. I could read it a third time. Like, it was so good. And I feel like if we had waited for even longer to record this, I would have read it again.
We could have. I feel like we should. Okay, because I honestly, I feel like I'll have to reread this book before I read the next one. Or at least do a crash course before the next one.
I don't feel like I need to.
No, because you have already. You've read it twice.
Yeah. But like just for fun. Or if it took longer to record. I'd say if we didn't record this year.
If we didn't record this year, we'd have had to reread it.
Yeah.
Actually, going back to the ratings, you've given Dead House Gates, Memories of Ice, and this 9 so far. Oh, and Gardens of the Moon.
What did I give House of Chains?
An 8.
Really? Okay, I thought that was my favorite.
Your lowest one, I think, was Midnight Tides.
Yeah, I still...
Because even for
I didn't like that one.
Tides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is... Yeah.
That one isn't much.
And I tend to agree. Like, this is a really good series. And it does hold up even in... Like, now we're in the 6th book. We're going into the last half of the whole...
Yeah.
10
I can't wait to read the next book. What is it? The next one?
The next one should be...
It's either Told the Hounds or Reaper's Gate or Dusted Dreams. One of those 3.
It's Reaper's Gate.
I hope, though, that you join us for the next episode where we'll be going full on specifics of this book. And there's so much to talk about. Otherwise, read the next book in the series, which is Reaper's Gate. Gate or Gale?
Gale.
Oh.
Gale.
Whoops, I always thought it was Gate. Okay.
Then after that, it's Told the Hounds, Dust of Dreams, then the Triple God.
Okay.
Then we'll go into the prequels and other stories.
Yeah. All right, so join us for that then. I'm Hellsknight.
I'm Hilary.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Sorry for the delays again.
Yeah.
Please bear with us as we're trying to balance work, life, and stuff.
Yeah. Like curfew just got lifted.
Finally.
Yeah, and we've met the third day after that. But scheduling has been really hard. So thanks. And have fun. Do you have an opinion on what we just discussed? Did we miss something? Tell us in the comments section and we'll read it in the next episode. If you're listening on Anchor, send us a voice message and we'll add it to this episode. Don't forget to follow our podcast on Twitter @SpoilFans for updates. And follow our Instagram for behind-the-scenes action @SpoilersInFandom. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube and Anchor to get the latest episodes.